Hello, what is up guys? And today we are going to be going over margins, borders, and padding. And to practice this, what I've done is I've gone to the same thing that we've been using all this time, and I have changed it a little bit. Wait here, let me open it. That is this one. So I've created a division with the class box, and then a p tag, which is a paragraph tag with the text subscribe to BME FBLA. And right now it just looks like this. What we're going to do is we're going to create a box around this text, and it's going to be centered somewhere along the middle of the page. Okay, and we're going to need to use margins, padding, and borders to do this effectively. So first things first, let's see how we can center this at least horizontally. Okay, so let's center this horizontally. So as you can see, this element right now takes up the entire width of the page. To center it horizontally, you first have to assign a width to this element, to the box, okay? Because it takes up the entire width of the page. So in order to assign a width, we have the class.box here. And now let me say width colon 15 rems. We're using rems. So 15 rems is equal to 15 times 6 pixels. If you want, I can actually make a comment here just for reference. 15 times 6, 15 times 16 pixels, because 1 rem is 16 pixels. And there. So now you can see that now if I inspect this box, I can see that it has a width. Now in order to set the margin to the center, what I can do is I can margin dash right colon. Now you want to use this keyword, auto. This will put, well actually let me show you margin left auto so that you can see what this does, okay? It pushes this all the way to the left. Basically, it sets the margin left. It pushes the element all the way to the left. Now, if I want to push it in the center, I can also assign margin dash right colon auto. Margin dash right colon auto, which will push it all the way to the, which will now bring this all the way to the left because it has the margin on the right side. But because they're both here, it puts it in the center of the page because you've got the margin left pushing and the margin right pushing, and now it's in the center. Now if I want the text to be in the center, I can use this little keyword, text-align colon center, text-align colon center. Doesn't really matter. The order in which you write these styles is completely irrelevant. So as you can see there, and you can see our CSS box model over here. Just one important thing that I would like to say is that you can see that over here we've written box sizing border box. What this basically does is it will assigns box size relative to border. So what this means is, as you can see, we've set the width to 15 rem. Okay, so this means that the margin is not inclusive in the box sizing. But the only things that are inclusive are the content, the padding, and the border. And 15 times 16 should be 240. Right? I should be able to do this in my head. Oh, well, that wasn't what I wanted. 15 times 16. As we can see, it's 240, which is why the content is 240, because we haven't added a padding or a border yet. So let's first add a border. Okay. So, and also, just for reference again, always have this open whenever you're doing CSS. Go to CSS, go to the Mozilla Developer Network. You can just type in MDN CSS reference to access this, and you can see it's already on my computer. So now I'll just go to border, and now I press on border. Now I can see how border works. So we can see over here, we first put the thickness of the border, then we put the kind of way that you want the border to look, then we put the color of the border. So I don't think that I want this. I think I'm just looking for something more like this, where I just type in the type of border and the color that I want. So in this case, I would do border, and I would put colon. I want a thin border, so I'll do 1 pixel. I'm putting the size, so kind of like this one, 1 rem, and I'm gonna put the color that I want, so hashtag, and now let's make it gray. So hashtag 666, I'm pretty sure is gray. I should have done enough website to design at least by now, and we can see that oh yes, I forgot to put solid. You have to first put solid, and then the width, and then the color scheme of the border. Now we can see the border coming around it. I would want it a little bit lighter, So here's what I can do. Normally, should I do this? See, I can make it a little bit lighter. Here's something a little bit more like this. Something a little bit more like that. Sure, let me see if this works. A hex code. Yeah, there. Something a little bit more like that. And also, just this is not something that and you can also change the border radius, so border dash radius. If you're not, again, they have a lot of different ways to style a border. So as you can see, it says border, border bottom, border left radius, border this, border that. You can see all of the different ways that you can style a border over here. And we're using border dash radius right now. So the border dash radius, I'm just going to make this colon 5 pixels. And now we can see a little bit of a curve on the sides, which I think looks quite nice. Okay, so anyways, now we have a border, now we have text. I think something that I would like to do at least is to increase the gap between the text and the border, and to do this I would have to add padding. So what I can do is I can add padding. We can also see our box sizing dash border box coming into play. Our content now takes up 238 pixels because our border is taking up 1 pixel on the right and left sides. So now I'll add some padding, and let me do padding colon, let's say 1 rem, just all around 16 pixel padding. There we go. Okay, this is a bit wide, I think, but it's fine. I just want to show you guys how padding works and stuff. And again, you can see the box sizing coming into play over here. So subscribe to BME FBLA. Now you may be thinking that, okay, how are we going to center this box in the middle of the page? Well, there are actually a variety of ways that you can do it. You can use absolute positioning. You can use flexbox. You can use JavaScript to calculate the width and the height and then to center it. But what you cannot do, which might seem like the most obvious thing to do, is to just do margin dash top, and this will not work. And I'm not going to go, I will kind of explain why. And margin dash bottom auto, and look, watch, okay, I've added these two, right? It should work the same way that margin left and margin right work. This seems like the most obvious thing to do, but you will see that it is in fact not the case. Nothing happens. It doesn't add anything. This is honestly because of the way that CSS, the CSS box, the box system has been made a little bit weirdly, and it also has to do with some math, which you can read, research on if you'd like, but it would take me quite a while to explain, and I don't want to get into such a technicality. And we could use absolute positioning to do this, but we're not going over positioning in this video, and some of you watching this may not be familiar with it. If you aren't familiar, though, I would recommend that you do take a look at these certain videos on absolute positioning. I may make one in the future, though. So if you are watching this like quite a while to the date when this video is made, see if we do have a video on positioning, and you can definitely take a look at that. But for now, what I would recommend is that if you don't know how to do any of this, just kind of just put a size that you think is good. So let's just put margin dash top colon 9 rem. So we do this. Now we have a bit more. Maybe we'll add a bit more. Again, normally you would not center your elements like this. You would want to do it with flexbox or with absolute positioning or with JavaScript, but I'm just doing it for this video. So you know what, 15 rem actually, I know that this is not even close to the center of the page, but I do kind of like it a bit above, maybe a bit higher, maybe 21 rem. And so, you know, now we can see our subscribe to BME FBLA, our border around it, and yeah, looking all right. We could change the font. I'll go into how to change the font in a later video, but I think that this video should have served to teach us well about padding content, about padding borders, margins, and box sizing as well. I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. In fact, before this video ends, I encourage that you just copy this code down. So just copy these two lines, this dot box, and then copy this from my HTML. Okay, and now try to make this box look even more fantastic. And some ways that you can do that are by going to this this CSS reference. Try around playing with different borders. Even try a box shadow. So there's this thing called box shadow, which you can try out. You can give it a nice little shadow around it. That could be fun. You know, play around a bit. You can try to add a background color. Even try to play around a bit with the font, with the P tag, with the paragraph tag. I encourage that you do this. Thank you for watching. Hope you found this video helpful. Yep, thank you and goodbye.